Don't you love the leftist loons? Their heads are exploding everywhere because Trump just cut a raft of things. They don't know what to address first. I mean, he shut down the EPA website. He's building a wall. He's going after sanctuary cities.
Yes,
He's doing everything, even though they've held up his people in Congress. He's doing all this through, he's undoing all Obama's executive orders.
Yep.
He put a freeze on the $221 million for the Palestinian terrorists.
Yeah.
He put a freeze on all of the regulations Butthead tried to sneak through at the last minute. He put a freeze on all this garbage Obama has done since, I think, a year ago, actually, where they just started cranking out garbage hysterically because it wouldn't affect his election, but it would tank our economy irreparably. So he's undone all of that. Shut down the climate change websites. I mean, the left is going bananas, and I love it. They're incoherent, drooling lumps of lard.
I know.
They have no idea what to do or say. Their fake news isn't working.
And their reactions are just basically ensuring future victories. I mean,
I said keep acting like assholes, and your election losses are only going to get bigger.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, I know. It's great. They can't help themselves. They're out there attacking Trump's son.
Oh, I know. What scum.
I said, oh, yeah. No autistic child plays peekaboo with a baby, morons. You can go look at that online at the inauguration, idiots. And who's Rosie O'Dumbbell to make a diagnosis? Maybe she should get her own head examined. And that snot-nosed live writer or whatever she is, fire her ass.
Yep.
I love liberals who are always the biggest whiners about being victimized or the biggest bullies.
Oh, here's what
now they're bullying 10-year-old children.
Oh, I have such fun. What I'll say is, judging Trump for the orange color of his skin might make you a bad liberal.
A racist. Who are you to judge a minority of orangeness? Yeah, this is a rare skin color, and you're a racist for picking on a minority. Shitheads. I hate these people. I'm eating them for lunch. I keep calling them child bullies and abusers. I think this undermines their whole thing about bullying.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter now, too. And guess what? I got 3,000.
This one is a 10-year-old child, fair game for these adult liberal bullies.
I know.
Have they no shame?
Of course.
And another thing I wrote is, oh, yeah, Barron Trump. Handsome, adorable, playing peekaboo with the baby, and well-mannered. No wonder the libs are jealous.
I know. Well, I even point out, I go, you know what? Even your precious Aunt Hilda said that the one thing that she admires about Trump is his kids.
Yeah, his kids are great.
I know. Yep.
So they got on. One woman started ranting about why does Barron Trump have 2 Facebook pages? I said, why is that your business? Take care of your own kids. They're probably running around doing drugs. Get your nose out of other people's business.
Their kids are
now it's Barron Trump's fault because he has 2 Facebook pages?
Yeah.
I know people who have hundreds of Facebook pages.
Yep.
So it's his fault for being bullied because he has 2 Facebook pages. Liberalism is definitely a mental disorder.
Indeed, you are correct.
What are these people are morons. Yeah. They're unbelievable. Well, it's wrong to bully children, but his father bullies people. I said bullying a child and bullying a moron, idiot adult who's earned it are 2 different things. I'm looking forward to more lefty smackdowns from Trump.
He is so fantastic.
Oh, it's who they're electing him would be this much fun.
I know, he's fantastic.
All these hysterical screaming headlines. Oh my God, doomsday clock moves closer to midnight because of Trump, scientists announce. I said, oh yeah, poor globalists elites are in a panic because all their evil plans to rule the world blew up in their faces on November 8th, 2016.
Now Soros is pinched between the might of Russia and U.S. that both want him jailed.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of great things about Soros. I said, All the hysterical alt-left nutcakes' empty heads are exploding along with all of their sacred cows. Who knew that electing Trump would be this much fun? Here's another one. Laugh my ass off. The fake scientists and their hysterical fear-mongering are hilarious. Get lost, you globalist tools. Your gig is up. George Soros lost the election. Oh, man. This is just... I wish there were 1,000 of me because I can't even make enough comments for all of these idiotic articles.
I posted one good one that shows these women dressed as big vaginas, right? And then there's another one with a woman holding a sign saying, "I wish women had the same rights as guns." So I posted a tweet with the pictures side by side saying that libtwits were exercising their open carry rights, or their version of open carry.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is just, it's amazing. One of the things that's annoying me is our computer is just going south because it's an e-machine and it's so freaking slow. It takes me forever just to get a comment to post. I hate that.
That's annoying.
Somebody talked about Trump being like Pravda, his White House. I said, Pravda once famously said that it only dreamed of so thoroughly controlling the message to the public as the leftists had achieved in the American media. And they did. I sent that article off to Father Tom. I probably have it archived somewhere unless our computer dumped it.
Email me that one? That's great.
Go look up what Pravda wrote. It was back, I think, in 2010 or 2008 or 2009, somewhere in there. Pravda actually said that. It's beautiful.
That's fantastic.
You've been propagandized. I address one of these hysterical lunatics that thinks the world is ending. I said, you've been propagandized, Gail. Go back to your coloring books, safe spaces, therapy animals, and crying rooms while the adults fix the mess King Obama has made.
Outstanding.
Starting in 2009, and I know this personally from some EPA scientists I worked with, starting in 2009, EPA ran all of its honest scientists out of their jobs, mostly on spurious accusations. They replaced real studies, like in vitro studies, test tube studies, things like that, for virtual ones, computer models which cannot be checked against real-world findings, and began to crank out loads of garbage science. And like the corrupt IRS, the vile new EPA began to target conservative-owned businesses and property owners for ridiculous harassment. Look up what was done to Gibson Guitar. Yes, an overhaul of Obama's lying, partisan, propaganda-spewing EPA is long overdue, and heads should roll.
Amen.
I mean, she was scared. She called me up. She had never seen anything like this. It's like brown shirts marched into the EPA and told them they were going to do this or else. And they fired all the Christians, and they fired any scientist who wasn't gung-ho on garbage science. That's what O'Butthead did the minute he got in office. He's co-opted every agency. This needs a total clean-out.
I mean, I made a new hashtag on Twitter that's called Dem-infested. So I always say the Dem-infested three-letter agencies. I refer to that as being restored to original purpose. And how libs won't do well in that situation. But yeah, it's.
Oh, here's another one for the sky is falling idiots. Yeah, the sky is forever falling according to the AGW. That's anthropogenic global warming hoaxers and fearmongers. James Hansen, East and West coasts would be underwater literally by the year 2000 due to man-made global warming. And that idiot still has a job in the federal government.
Yep.
You have been duped, Lee. None of the climate hoaxers' dire predictions have come true. Climate change is natural. It is primarily driven by the sun, and there is nothing anyone can do to change that fact. But the AGW hoax is a great tool for the globalist elites who want to destroy affordable energy for most people and impoverish billions across the planet so that they can have absolute power and wealth. And I am not kidding.
Yep. Yeah,
that's exactly what these clubs are doing.
Barkley addressed this very well.
Pardon me?
Yeah,
what's that?
Webster Copley did a very good presentation on that. Yep.
Sure, absolutely. I have archives of all the climate change rubbish. I've been following this stuff for decades. And I remember every single stupid, evil thing these assholes did, including firing scientists who didn't have tenure because they didn't agree with this rubbish, including all their lying and cheating, the Climategate email scandal that showed exactly what these pigs were doing, the whitewash investigations that all they investigated was they brought the scientists in and said, did you do anything wrong? Oh, no, Mr. Investigator. Okay, nothing wrong here. That was their whitewash investigation. They didn't check the lying science. They didn't interview anyone who was harmed by or threatened or any of the journals that were threatened by these people. They just asked the criminals if they did anything wrong. Hey, maybe our justice system could be the same, right? Well, anyway, so.
Excellent. Well, excellent catching up, and we'll do that thing this coming week. And
actually, liberals are a threat to all mankind. They destroy everything they touch and propagandize the weak-minded, and now they are being removed from their undeserved power.
Excellent, and they have to be prevented from ever having power again. Incidentally, I wrote a new article that I'll send you a link. It's called Libtard Immigration Arguments. And arguments.
That must be hilarious.
Oh, and arguments is
the only reason libtards support immigration is for votes.
Oh, well, there's other even deeper Marxism.
The votes are bigger.
Yep.
That's how this corrupt state of California has solidified their one-party prison state.
Exactly right.
So one idiot writes that all the Trump voters are uneducated dolts. I said, Alyssa, the bulk of the uneducated dolts in this country live in crime-infested cities like Chicago. They're welfare parasites. Yes, 2/3 of welfare recipients are Democrats. The BLM and the alt-left nutcakes protesting the election are committing the bulk of the hate crimes, too. You know, like torturing a disabled boy because he's white, beating up Trump supporters, setting a woman's hair on fire because she didn't vote Democrat, murdering 66 innocent police officers, staging phony hate crimes like burning their own churches, and so on. These lefties seem to be forever protesting, while working people don't have time for such things. The average American working people are the ones who voted for Trump, not the filthy rich elites nor the welfare parasites. Wise up, Alyssa. The DNC made a calculated decision to throw the average Joe working man overboard in favor of special interest groups, corporate cronies who want government subsidies, the perpetual victim class, the greedy handout voters, illegals, terrorist-infested refugee groups, and the underworked, overcompensated, incompetent public sector unions and government workers in quotes. Because government and worker are oxymoron. I'm enjoying this, eating them for lunch. It makes me happy. You know what I dreamed last night? You're going to laugh. I've heard so much evil from these loons. I mean, I just have to read what they post online to see the mentality of these people. It's disgusting. So I believe in being a straight fighter. I don't take any prisoners. Anyway, I was dreaming last night that all these alt-left nutcakes were climbing the fences at the White House and trying to kill Trump. And drones were taking them out. And Secret Service agents were using them for target practice. And their bodies were piling up like cords of wood on the White House lawn. Well, that's one way to reduce their population. Hey, man, you're going to reduce CO2 by offing a bunch of lefties, so celebrate. Yeah, they talk about, we need to reduce the world's population. I said, great, hold your breath till you off yourselves, and then it's a win-win. You get to reduce CO2 and save the planet, and the rest of the world gets to live in more freedom, prosperity, and happiness. Oh, yes, I mean, but it's fun.
Well, you got a little bit of fun. So
listen, these people are vicious.
I know. That's it.
They're actually beating up, harming, murdering, hospitalizing people, charging them with phony. I mean, it's unbelievable what these jerks are doing. I want to see Trump. Here's what. Did you know that every federal agency has armed SWAT teams?
Oh, I know. The FBI, the IRS comes in with guns. I was talking to
and the EPA and all these people.
Yeah, I was at Financial Place, and when the IRS comes in, they have like holstered guns on them, and they're so.
No, they actually come in helmeted SWAT teams against. Let's see, Gibson Guitar used the wrong wood, but it wasn't even one of our laws they broke. And the EPA came and busted down the doors with battering rams, and fully armed and wearing all those, the shields and stuff. SWAT teams went in with automatic weapons and put them in everyone's faces while they investigated a piece of wood.
Yep.
These are brown shirts.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
They're brown shirts. They're terrorizing people. So I think a good use of armed SWAT teams in the federal government would be to go into all the sanctuary cities, bust down the doors of politicians who are protecting this law breaking, drag them out in irons at gunpoint with SWAT teams, and then get all the names of the illegal groups and the groups that are enabling, because I know there are groups that process. They have like an underground railroad that funnel illegals into empty, apartments, and they run safe houses, and they give them fake ID, and they give them food stamps and social services they're not supposed to have. I know this for a fact. So what has to happen is all that needs to be investigated, and everyone who cooperated with this massive law breaking needs to be thrown into prison.
That's for sure.
You want to see an end to illegal immigration? That'll do it.
Yep. Excellent.
No more law breaking, not just keep the funds from them, but go in there and investigate their operations. Because they have an underground railroad.
Yeah.
Where they process these people so fast. They have apartments set aside for them. We saw one across from us. Every week, new people in and out of there, and they were all foreigners.
Nice.
And of course, the church is bringing them food and money and this and that. God, they got better benefits. It's just unbelievable.
Yep.
The church brought them a whole roast turkey, all the fixings, thousands of dollars in food, cards that they can buy food with, paid their rent. They get free housing. Meanwhile, our veterans are dying in gutters.
Yep.
They're getting free health care from Stalin. Oh, a good thing happened this morning. State of California was going to expand their Medicaid, social services, put all these 5 million illegals that we have in this state on Stalin care and on our Medicaid in this state. Our taxes were going to go through the roof.
Nice.
And because Trump is undoing Stalin care, they put it on hold.
Excellent.
But I think the SWAT teams should bust into politicians' offices because they're really the ones who benefit the most from this scam.
Oh, of course. And in fact, Brown would never be in power if it weren't for all these illegal votes.
Yeah, and see, Brown, the state of California was Obama's template for filling this country with illegals to try and swing elections his way.
Yep.
Oh, and I love that Trump is going to investigate voter fraud. Now the evidence is piling out. It's coming out of the woodwork, all their voter fraud.
Yep.
Somebody called in who knows how California operates, where if you live in a certain place and you're registered and you go in and you give your address and they cross it off a list, they said the lists get posted in the windows and then a couple hours they're down. And that's when the fraudsters know to go in and take the names that were already crossed off with the new sheets that the pollsters are given, and they vote under other people's names.
Yep, that was
not checked.
Yep.
So I said, explain to me, libtard, how there's no voter fraud if you have twice as many people voting in Democrat districts than are registered there or even live there. I can't wait to the genius explanations you would there. You just laugh your guts out at these morons.
Yep.
Stats show that there are Democrat districts where 2 or 3 times as many people vote there than even live in the district. And they all voted for Obama. Gee, I wonder who's benefiting from voter fraud. If Trump is, I've been praying that the lid get blown off the voter fraud because voted for president just this last November. There was some woman sitting in there filling out all these forms for provisional ballots. Provisional ballots are another way people cheat. And I looked at her. She was still there later. I think she was filling out thousands of illegal voter forms.
Nice.
I just can't believe. And sitting there in front of the pollsters doing it because San Jose is controlled by Democrats and illegals. We're one of the underground railways, one of the safe house funnels. This county is corrupt as hell. We have a safe house across the street from us too. I called it the crack hoe house because there were always 20 cars parked in front of it, a bathtub in the lawn area, 6 million, Hispanic children running around, and different people in and out constantly. Now you tell me what that is. And nobody speaks English. I mean, I was 3 when we moved to Canada. Even I learned to speak Canadian in a couple months, and I was 3.
Canadian?
Yes.
French?
Well, it's French,
Yeah.
but it's French Canadian.
Yeah. I thought it's just where you
So
said.
you can't mix it up with the other kind of French because they're too different.
I know. I heard that Benny went to France, or to Canada, to Quebec. They couldn't understand a fucking thing they were saying.
Exactly. And I knew this because Mama was French. Now the thing is, Canada was settled by the French in the 1600s. Languages change over time. So you had French Canadian going in its own direction, and every province has different dialects in Canada. So even people in different provinces don't necessarily, understand each other. But the traditional French and Canadian French are very, very different. And when I studied French, I already knew Canadian French words, and I kept getting them mixed up with But I learned it very quickly. If a 3-year-old can learn a new language that fast, what's the excuse of these people? I mean, I want to know. They're here forever, and they still don't. They have to have ballots printed up in foreign languages. Why? If you can't speak the language of the country, you obviously aren't informed. Why in the hell are you voting?
Exactly right.
Why in the hell are you voting if you don't even know what's going on? Well, because the Democrats funnel ignoramuses in to vote for them. That's what they do.
Sounds pretty precise.
I hope that this blows the lid off voter fraud.
Oh, yeah. He's basically making good on all his threats against criminality. Fantastic.
They are going crazy. The left, they don't know what to do first. And I wrote somewhere, I almost feel sorry for them. Almost, but not. Because these aren't the brightest bulbs in the box either.
You have
to be deficient somehow to vote liberal.
Exactly.
You either have to be young and gullible, totally uninformed, misinformed by being educated beyond your intelligence. Thank you, William F. Buckley.
Yep, intellectual.
Or a willful, lying criminal to vote liberal.
Yes, indeed. Well, I guess that's all that can be said for now.
Oh, this was about EPA has to remove its climate change data from the website. I said Trump is just doing away with the Ministry of Disinformation, which is akin to Hitler's propaganda machine.
Oh, I keep telling people, I post little pictures of the articles that talk about the EPA had to tell their employees to stop defecating in hallways. So I go, even their immediate environment will be cleaner once the infested agency is restored to original purpose. And so, yeah, it's just absolutely amazing, the material for comedy. Well, and the funniest thing, the best thing is that their panic mode has them showing their true colors.
Yeah, absolutely, more and more.
Yeah.
And one of them saying, oh, Trump is insane. I said, mentally deranged leftists who need coloring books, therapy animals, crying rooms, Play-Doh, safe spaces, and election trauma therapy are in no position to make assessments about anyone else's sanity. Oh, God.
Excellent. Do you know what else is trending on Twitter? Every time I correct these liberals on Twitter, invariably they'll yelp out some little whimper of a response, and then they'll block me immediately, so I can't even get my reply response.
Yes. That's all they know how to do is shut their ears and go. La, 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 la.
Yeah, so
like the morons, which they are.
Every time they do that, I have a hashtag blocked by libtard, and I'll have their picture with a screenshot of their, being blocked, and put that up.
Right.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, shame them online. So this guy says, Trump-tards love their alternative facts. I said, clearly leftists aren't interested in real facts, or they wouldn't have to doctor their data, hide inconvenient findings, bully and try to destroy scientists who disagree with AGW, that's anthropogenic global warming, lie about how many scientists actually support the theory, and threaten to boycott journals who publish contrary findings. Yeah, some science.
Yeah, I often will point out to these idiots, I go, you know what? Science isn't really about belief and denial, believers and denialists. That's religion.
Right. Yeah, and liberalism is a mental disorder, a dangerous mental disorder, and a virulent religion, and that's one of my favorite sayings.
Yep. And it was incorporated in the article that I wrote about the Democrat religion, and you'll love that if you haven't seen it.
What's that?
I made an article called The Democrat Religion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one yet, but you'll love it if you haven't.
The alternative reality of the ever-lying leftist loons is getting a nice smackdown. Thank you, Trump. Making up fake stories is what liberals do best because somebody said this was a fake story. Something that Trump said. Making up fake stories is what liberals do best.
I know they're having a friggin' conniption fit that Trump maintains that what True the Vote has provided substantial evidence.
Yes.
And what I keep doing in response, every time these idiots go, oh, he's actually doubling down on this lie. And then so I'll respond with, well, Obama encouraged it. Fact.
Right.
Jerry Brown made it easy. Fact.
Right.
13% of resident Mexican nationals admit illegals vote. And I use a hashtag.
Right.
And they have a friggin' fit.
Yep. Well, you know what I did when the illegal immigration the voter fraud stuff came up? I have an archive of I've followed through the years the stories that dribble into the media from things like True the Vote, and I've kept them. And I posted one a minute as people piled in to try and call Trump a liar. I posted evidence. One thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And they can't answer it.
Yep.
And what finally happens is people stop posting comments altogether, and the story disappears because they're not hearing from their echo chamber.
Oh, I know. Yeah. As soon as they lose hope of asserting themselves.
Right. They feel like they can't compete. They disappear, just like blocking you.
Yep.
So, this thing on EPA to remove its climate change data from website, I said, outstanding. The One World Order cabal and its AGW hoax has been foiled. Bet the globalist elites are shitting bricks over this. Of course, I had to be creative in how I wrote shitting. Asterisks and ampersands and whatnot.
I routinely will point out was there's a picture of that one liberal imbecile where she's defecating on a Trump sign publicly. And
yeah.
So I go, as children, liberals will smear the content of loaded diaper on surrounding walls. And then I say, later.
And they're still doing it now, 25 years later.
Then I say later, as adults, in quotes, things are pretty much the same.
Right. This is great. I heard another person said that Trump was taking America backwards to he didn't know what, but I said, no, Obama was the one pushing America and its economy backwards to pre-industrial era. All because of the lies peddled by the globalists and their leftist allies ensconced in the corrupt government agencies and left-wing universities. Trump has reversed Obama's destructive course, and Americans are now free from the economy-killing, one world order advancing AGW hoax. And then when somebody was complaining about, again, the same article, taking that stuff off the website, I said, good, garbage science shouldn't disgrace government websites. Somebody was complaining that Trump was a dictator, but he didn't use Trump by name, so I said, too late, Obama the dictator's already gone. The only ones who don't believe that voter fraud happens are the ones who benefit from it, namely the lying, cheating Democrats. Laugh my ass off. I love this one. I post this one a lot. Laugh my ass off. The left is truly unhinged. All that brainwashing and fake news has made them insane. Good thing you and your corrupt party lost the presidency, lost the House, lost the Senate, lost 2/3 of the state legislatures, lost 2/3 of the governorships. Your ever-lying media lost all credibility. No one believes a thing they say. Your dumb power-mad party nuked the filibuster, so they are irrelevant. Enjoy the back of the bus, fool.
Excellent.
They have no power. It's terrific. Yep. They expected Hillary to win. They set it all up so that they could grab as much power as possible, and now the tables are turned. I
Oh,
love
I
it.
just love that before this whole thing, they lectured all the good Americans on the importance of accepting results.
Yeah, that was good too.
Somehow they
That was
forgot
great.
about that.
Hillary was hung by her own petard on election night.
Oh, do you know what? Assange pointed out something. He pointed out something that was quite interesting.
Who did?
Assange. And he basically said that the Hillary team and the elite handlers
Yeah.
were prepared to spend whatever they needed to. But all the false reports by media and Hillary of her huge lead basically made them think they had a done deal.
Right.
They basically shot themselves in the foot by their own lies.
Well, yes, they did. But I think they were going to lose anyway. Because, I know a lot of leftists who they're more classical liberals.
Yep.
They were never going to vote for Hillary after what she did to Sanders.
Yep.
Never going to vote for her. They couldn't stomach voting for her.
Or did I tell you about?
Sanders people stayed home.
Yep. Did I tell you about my my breadline burnout hashtag that I set up for Sanders?
No, I didn't hear this.
So anyway, I go, and I always use it in a sentence. So I go, you know what? It's just as well that old breadline burnout lost to the first round of Dem vote fraud, another hashtag. And I go, he's really needed in Venezuela right now to set up those lines. And then it features a clip of him on YouTube praising breadlines. Where he's saying, a lot of people say that breadlines are like a bad thing. But in other countries, the rich eat and the poor people starve to death. So with breadlines, they're actually getting food, they're eating.
Oh, brother.
So it's so perfect. And then I also created a Lesko, that Lesko's Guide to Free Everything from Government, Acorn for White, that appeared on TV all the time.
I didn't hear you. Something distorted.
Remember Lesko? And he'd always present all this free stuff from government, and he'd be wearing the suit with the question marks all over it.
No, I don't know about him.
Oh, he was on TV on these ads going, learn about government.
Well, I don't have a TV, remember?
But anyway, this was back in the 80s, though. So he'd be on TV going, oh, you can get a grant for starting a swimming lesson company or this or that. So,
in the 80s, I didn't have a TV either.
Okay. So anyway, this idiot Lesko would go around advertising all these free programs. So it's kind of like an Acorn for white trash. Here's it's basically telling them how to milk the government. So I set up a meme that has Bernie's face in place of Lesko's, and it's like free education. And speaking of that, on my Twitter, I set up free education as a hashtag, and I put it in a sentence. I go, this is where libtards receive their free education. No.
I said to a libtard, I'm sure that if you need a free education, all the libtard professors will be happy to work for free, donating all their time to you and charity. They are so overpaid.
There's the rub, though. Even the Marxist professors want to indoctrinate for free, even though it's such a passion for them.
Yeah, they're overpaid. I mean, they want to cut costs of tuition. Why don't they just volunteer their services? That's what I suggested.
Oh, plus all the tuition skyrocket because of illegal aliens. Nobody bothers to mention that.
Pardon me? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm telling you, another thing illegal aliens are good for is keeping the schools in California populated. See, and getting more money for the school systems. See, which benefits teachers' unions. See, we know their stinking deal. The public sector benefits from illegals in these ways.
No doubt.
Doomsday clock moves closer to midnight because of Trump, scientists announced, and Kevin says we avoided the apocalypse on November 8th. Best comment of the day.
Oh, now that is good.
Yeah, isn't that great? I love it. It's top comment on, favorites.
Well, you are fantastic as always, and we'll get together. I'll connect with you next week so we can schedule a time to do a proper interview thing.
Okay, great. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.